Yeah, I've been on the front of pretty much
Yeah.
every.
I've had to make sure you didn't go down a couple times.
Okay, so while we're waiting for Jen to get ready here, so I've been talking with Cadmere, and he was a dick, if y'all remember. But my recollection of what we were going to do was we were going to basically split the Soulstones up, giving 6 to the
Where am I?
guild and 5 to the elves and 5 to the dwarves is really what we were going to end up with. Was I correct on that?
Because the remaining two, one was going to
Daz.
one was going to Daz, and one was going to Harold's family.
Right. So,
is there? I didn't ask. Is there some subplot there, or is there a reason you're wanting one to go to your family?
Well, I think we only have 17, so it'd have to be 5, 5, and 5 if we're going to do one to Daz and one to my family. The only reason I was thinking about keeping one for my family is because, well, it's my family. No subplot or anything like that. Just thought it might be kind of a cool thing to have in the family.
There's a pot of whales somewhere that I'm sure would enjoy a soulstone. No, they may become a subplot later, for all we know.
I, unlike Elendal, don't, throw my children to the wind.
I'm not throwing them to the wind. I'm throwing them at a chick. But, it's not so bad.
Yeah, but your children aren't 60 and still living at home.
Hey.
I am looking forward to the Get Going Laid campaign.
Anyway, so Cadmere initially had said that he would maybe give us a small finder's fee. Where I'm at right now is he'll give us
Okay, to make this a little bit less complex, basically, since nobody has really requested any significant changes, after much dickering, you can pretty much get them to give you the items that were on that list.
And that's going to be it in total?
Yes.
For everything? Okay.
Yeah, but those, I don't know about your list, but my list was amazing. Yeah, those...
I got no complaints about my list. Now, let me ask you this. Can we, with things that we have, can we trade for other things?
We do have a bunch of party loot, including a bunch of actual coinage.
And I'm going to be trading in some. I wasn't trading in, but I've got gloves that I'm not going to be using anymore because I got new gloves.
I just put my old armor in party treasure.
Yeah, if you guys want to give me a list of what you want to sell, we can do some of that later, but I don't want to do that during the session.
Right, okay. Well, no, that's fine.
Basically, I think everything in... sorry, I don't have the party loot thing bookmarked. Where'd it go?
Okay, so we're all good then. We're all Cadmere okay with getting us in the guild. And
you anyway.
Get 5 soulstones, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
That was what I understood.
Yeah, what was this deal that you made with Cadmere?
I was asking to get in the guild and give us magic items. And we would introduce him to Yasmin. And that is, essentially it.
Was part of that also getting usage of the teleport to make the Yasmin faster?
I did I have not gotten a reply on that, but I did in my, because it was back and forth basically through email.
Yes,
And
he's more than happy to facilitate that.
Yeah.
Since it's
Okay,
it's his
so-
thing now.
So in
And
return,
it saves his ass a lot of time.
so in return for 5 soul stones, he's willing to do all that.
it's not
Well-
doing all that much.
Well, the deal was a little bit more complicated than that, and it basically, Elendal was going to facilitate Cadmir meeting with Yasmin, and Yasmin getting soul stones for her group, by basically turning in the 7 soul stones that you guys had found in the swamp.
But that's what we were planning on anyway.
More or less, yeah.
Oh, we were planning on giving the 7 soul stones to Yasmin, yes.
Yeah.
And that was basically to get Yasmin off of what's his name's back.
Prandwas.
Yeah.
Prandwas is back. So yeah, I mean, Yasmin gets the 7 soul stones. I'm good with that. And then I guess the other question would be, who is going to give up 2 soul stones to go to Cadmir, as opposed to the other 2 groups?
I thought we said we were just going to take the ones we got, the 50, or basically, 16, and go 5, 5, and 6.
Yeah, 5, 5,
Yeah.
and 6 is what I told Cadmir.
So I'm not sure I understand your question, Lucha, about the extra 2.
Well, ultimately, 5 have to go to Cadmir, right?
Well, I
And that's-
think we're
that's
basically
what-
saying. I think we're basically saying if we're splitting the 7, or well, really 16 unattuned, since we're giving 1 to Daz, we're doing 5, 5, and 6. So 6 are basically going to go to Cadmir. Now, the only thing that I had in mind is it really 5 to Cadmir and 1 to Tom? So Tom gets to maintain some standing, but effectively, it is still those 6 are going to the guild.
Okay, I'm now confused where I thought I wasn't. We have 7 soul stones that are attuned that are essentially gone off the party loot by the deal with Cadmir, and then
No.
Yasmin and Prandwas are taken care of. Correct?
Correct.
Talking about the 7 attuned soul stones. So after that, what we're left with is 17 raw unattuned soul stones, which last week we said essentially 3 each and 2 extra. But as I understand the current conversation, 1 goes to Harold's family, so we're left with 16. And then jointly, we're going to give the 16 to the 3 factions, 5 going to the elves, 5 going to the dwarves, and 6 going to the Adventurers Guild. Is that correct?
Mhm. Well, no, because out of the 17 remaining soul stones, we're talking that we're going to give 1 to Daz. That leaves 16 soul stones. Then it's, from what I'm understanding, it's 5 to the elves, 5 to the dwarves, 6 to the Adventurers Guild.
Correct, because I'm not going to give 1 to my family now.
Okay, so the 1 that was going to your family is instead going to Daz.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Is everybody okay with that? Everybody understands?
Well, okay, so the 7 soul stones, are we giving them?
And
and
damn the GM for giving us a prime number to deal with.
yeah. So the 7 going that were originally earmarked for Yasmin, you said you're going to give them to Cadmir and introduce Cadmir to Yasmin.
No,
But-
no. I told him that those were promised to her. So, and she had been told that there would be a reward of soul stones for that. We could facilitate them meeting so that whoever she had been in contact with the guild he'd be stealing their thunder.
It would probably be somebody that Cadmere outranks, correct?
Could be, I don't know. But whoever she got her information from, now he can say, I said, now you can tell, people, look, I wasn't really saying anything about it, but I've been working on getting these. Here they are. Um, to make himself look better.
Which he's all
Okay,
about.
so I'm going to play the devil's advocate here. What happens if Yasmin shows up on the scene and goes, well, there's two scenarios. Yasmin says, no, I've already promised to get them back to Lord Byron. And Cadmere says, too bad, so sad. They're in my possession. I'm keeping them, and I don't care what you say, Yasmin.
But we haven't given them to him. We are going to give them to her.
Also realize that Yasmin is at least 2 weeks away.
Well, no, because he's fine with us going to get her.
Oh, portaling?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, does Prodwis know how to find her in Alpel?
Yes, he does.
All right. So, can whoever wants to go, doesn't matter. I'll go if you guys don't want to. Can Cadmere send one of his men with me and Prodwis to go get her?
Yes, you can absolutely do that.
All right. Anybody else want to come along for that?
Well, actually, it's a little bit more complicated than that because you can't use the teleportation circle here to go to Alpale unless you've been there before. So what they're gonna do is they're going to have a wizard from the guild come here and teleport you guys to Alpale so that you know what Alpale looks like, basically.
Okay.
Is it something we all need to be there for, or is this like a
this is a downtime type of thing that they can do behind the scenes. They don't have to do it out.
There's no possibility of combat or role play.
No.
Or just...
Well, I mean, there's going to be some role play if you want there to be, but largely they're just going to negotiate between themselves and pretty much come up with the deal that Elendal came up with. That's what all of the rolling was for over the weekend.
So I trust Elendal, but I wouldn't mind if one of the paladins went with him. That's kind of a general policy from here forth.
and the question
he's earned that.
the question that I'd have, Jenny, is if I go to Alpale, eventually I'd be able to use these teleport areas myself, correctly?
Yeah, anybody who goes to Alpale will be able to use the guild teleport circles to transport there.
And how is that going to affect my scrying and stuff? Like adding in all these new spells?
Well, scribing is going to take you basically 8 days. So if it'll probably just take an hour or two to go to Alpale and talk to Yasmin and settle things.
Okay. So basically, during one of my supper breaks, I go to Alpale.
It's a good idea. That way we've got it on our can be ported to list.
Well, and that's kind of what I'm thinking is, can I be teleported there and then teleported back so I can go back to my studies?
Why don't you just stay and scry and let Papa and Boy go?
Because if I know a location, I can teleport you there also.
Yeah, I'd like to have you.
It's important for me to know where places are.
Yeah, makes a ton of sense.
But obviously, my first priority is going to be getting spells into my spell book.
When people are ready, I'd like to kind of dispose of the rest of the party loot. You guys should be all aware now that if you go to the Soulstones Obsidian Portal /items/party loot, there's now a list of party loot that the GM is keeping. I don't think we can edit it, can we?
You should be able to, as long as you're logged in.
Okay, so hang on, because I'm going to bookmark this. So, Obsidian Portal.
Just go to any of the Obsidian Portal pages with Soulstones, with Jenny's campaign, and
Mm-hmm.
click on the little link that's on the side, one up from the bottom that says items. And in there, you'll see party loot. And that is where the party loot is being kept.
All right, and so
And there's
is
a bunch of
everybody
stuff in there we're not
okay?
going to use.
Is everybody okay with what Jen picked for us? As far as loot. Anybody have any changes they need to make?
I have one showstopper, which is I don't know how to do what she did. In that, I'd like to put Numaya's chalice on my sheet as a link to Numaya's chalice. Now I'll figure it out. You don't have to do it in real time.
I thought I did put a link to the chalice on your sheet.
You did animal control, which makes me want to do the other one. Yeah, Ring of Animal Control is on my sheet as a link to Ring of Animal Control, which I think is pretty cool. So I'll figure that out and figure out how to do Numaya's chalice the same way.
And I vaguely remember Jenny and I still had some questions going back and forth. Trying to find the
only
email.
question I saw was, can I add these spells? And the answer is no.
No, you asked me. Let me find the email.
So while you're looking, in the party loot, there's the large 6-person canoe, which we're keeping just because. There's a +1 longsword nobody's using. We've disposed now of the soul stones. I think we keep the 2 potions of heroism. We give the enormous egg to Harold's family. The rod of flame extinguishing seems like it should be useful, but nobody's ever come up with a use for it, so that's probably sales material. The ironwood chest, I think we keep. The +1 spear of frost, 2d6. I think we sell. What does Daz have? Could he use any of this? I don't know what his proficiencies are.
The rod of flame extinguishing, I thought we gave to the owner of the barge.
Oh,
he didn't have anything to trade.
Oh, okay. So my old ironwood bark armor, I'd be happy to give to Daz. Same thing with any of these +1 weapons, if he can use them. Rissilvan's shrinkage is still in party loot. And then there's a list of coinage and a diamond ring. But if we have an opportunity to sell stuff, I think we have quite a bit of stuff to sell.
Well, and Jen mentioned if we're going to sell that stuff, we can do that offline after session today.
Yeah.
Right. So can we at least agree on what we want to sell? Does anybody have any idea what Daz needs?
Daz is set for items right now.
Okay. Then the +1 longsword, the enormous egg, the rod of flame not the enormous egg. The rod of flame is extinguishing, the +1 spear of frost, and the +1 short bow, my old armor, and apparently Rissilvan's shrinkage should all go into the to be sold category. Is that correct?
Right. And then my old armor of +1 leather armor plus of fortifications +2, and my gloves of dexterity +2 will be going as well because I'm getting new. Wait, no, I'm not getting new gloves. What was I thinking? What are my boots? It's my boots that I'm changing.
Can anybody cast that ritual from the book?
I believe I can.
Okay,
but
why don't
it's a ritual which takes time.
An hour, yeah. But why don't you put it on your sheet? I'd hate to run into a situation where we suddenly or wish we had it and then we don't.
Oh,
the
look,
value-
I can have a pocket Ellen doll. There's something to be said for that.
There you go. So
Uh,
why
I mean,
don't
literally a pocket.
I fixed your sheet. The easiest way to do it is that when you pull up the edit screen for your sheet, on the sidebar on the right hand side there will be like media link, and there's a one down there that says item link, and if you click on it, it pulls up the list of all the items that are attached to the campaign, and then you just click on the one that you want and it puts the link for that item on the page for you.
Sweet, that's too easy.
Yeah, it's really super easy.
So if Lucha will take the risk of on shrinkage, we'll sell the other +1 stuff. And I think that disposes of all of the party loot stuff for now.
All right, let's get moving. What do we got going on here?
Hang on, I'm sending Jenny an email.
So we've got a couple priorities. One is the errand to Yasmin. We've got a bunch of crazed halflings slowly running out of time. And then there's a dragon portal at the bottom of the shrine. And of course, Colwyn getting laid. Which I want to say should somehow involve the large 6-person canoe, but those can be separate if you'd like.
It just doesn't sound fun when it's a job, though.
Hey, wait a minute. Not on my seat.
So to the canoe we have added in large block letters, Colwyn's seat. The only the
Yeah.
halflings are time sensitive, but I think that we've got a day or two before we need to get back to them.
And literally, teleporting takes 6 seconds. Dump off
Yeah.
a bunch of food and teleport back out. That's not a big deal.
Yeah. Why don't Elendil, why don't you resolve the Yasmin thing?
Right, I'm assuming that we're kind of doing that behind the scenes now.
Yeah, basically you go to Alpeo with Pranwes, and possibly Lucha if he wants to go. It takes you a while to find Yasmin, but you finally locate her mercenary company hanging out at a tavern. You introduce her to Cadmir. She's super skeptical. Let me pull up her thing here while we're doing this. That's what Yasmin looks like. She has a couple of her friends with them. They talk for a considerable amount of time. Cadmir actually schmoozes them out pretty well, and they agree to the deal. And she glares at Prandos for a while, and he kind of slinks off, and everything's settled.
So do we think we have seen there's the last of Prandwis?
Unless you make it clear that you want to see him again, yeah.
Okay. No, I don't think that's a successful relationship. We can just ghost him.
I never saw Yasmin. I don't need to, but all right. So that's taken care of. Are we sitting around for a week? And if during that time, are we getting these magic items and we should be putting
Yep.
them on?
Yep.
I might make one other recommendation too. Wasn't there, we get about 2 weeks worth of food for the halflings?
Yep.
There was 30 halflings.
think there was like 19, but yeah.
There's 19 halflings on an island, which is going to get smelly pretty quick.
So we should take roughly 3,000 of our copper and go to Tom and be like, "Oh yeah, sorry about your supplies."
Yeah, that makes sense.
Were
I
you-
really like your idea of giving one of the soul stones to Tom as a way of giving it to the guild.
Were you also?
I think we're past that.
Oh, are we? Okay. Never mind then.
It gets sorted out. Were you going to Were you going? Crap! Now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, were you going to use the shrink spell on your canoe to make it easier to transport?
Oh. Good question. So that's something that once you cast it, it can go up and down at will. The object can be commanded to resume its normal size as a single action. Takes double action for it to finish growing or shrinking once commanded. So that's like a permanent. We can shrink or unshrink the canoe as needed.
Yeah, for during the duration that the spell lasts, basically. Which, if you cast it now, would be like 7 days or whatever it was.
70 days,
70.
10 days per caster level.
Yep.
So 2.5 months. I love that idea. Is everybody else okay with it?
I'm sorry. Yeah, what was that? I was trying to figure some other stuff out.
So if you look at the spell, at the ritual, Rissovan Shrinkage, we were thinking we were going to stash it for later use, but Jenny essentially just suggested that we use it on the canoe, and then the canoe becomes, for the next 2 months, something that we can, at will, put in our pockets and then expand to canoe size as needed. If you actually look at the ritual. Because you're 7th level, so it would be 35-foot cube per caster level.
Mm-hmm.
Shrinks to 1/16th size, 1/4000th that's volume and mass. And can be commanded to resume its normal size. It would take an action to resume its normal size. But yeah, if you see that spell, it's like...
So how big is... What was the length of this canoe now?
Large.
But it holds like 6 people, right? So we're talking
6 people and some stuff, yeah. So it's at least a 10-foot canoe.
I was going to say it'd be closer to like 15, 16 feet.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I got a three person canoe in my backyard, and it's 6 feet at least, probably closer to 7 or 8 feet.
So call it a yacht.
We would realistically end up with a 2-foot canoe. Again, still something that we could easily transport.
Well, and you've got your just handy haversacks now, so you can just stuff it in one of the compartments in the haversack and take it out whenever you want.
Ooh, I forgot the handy haversack on my sheet.
Yeah, did we each get one or just one for the party?
You each get one.
Okay.
A dog in here. Oh, is a sweet dog?
Yeah.
Sweet baby, yes.
Okay. So that takes care of the Rissovan Shrinkage book.
So
the ritual book is a permanent item. It does not go away when someone casts the spell out of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So
we can use it on anything big that we want to carry around.
You do need to spend 70 gold to use it on the canoe, though.
Okay. We can take that out of party treasure.
And I need if Lucha wants to cast it, he's going to need to make an Arcanum check to cast it.
Okay. Uh, um,
What is the name of that haversack?
It's just called, in Pathfinder, it's just Handy Haversack.
Handy haversack. Got it.
Okay, you managed to produce a shrinking canoe with no problem. But do make sure
now the question I have is, if I tell somebody else what the command word is, does that mean that they can do that,
Yep.
or does it have to be me?
Anyone, as long as they're present when the spell's casted, you can basically add any number of people to the people who can command it.
Okay. So everybody but Elendil.
Well, that prevents what was going to be an awkward conversation, is all of us standing around the smoking wreckage of your corpse, looking at each other and going, "How do we get the canoe back?"
Okay.
Also, during this approximate week that you spend doing negotiations and getting fitted for new armor and various other things going on, and Luch describing a bunch of scrolls and shrinking your canoe, the giant 300-pound egg that you've got starts to make tapping noises.
Of course it does.
And I need...
I don't think I used wild empathy on the chicken hut last time. But I think that's just because I didn't think of it. Do I think I could use it on a baby chicken hut?
Well, it's probably some, like, a magical creature, which means you can, but you'd have a neg-4 penalty.
Okay.
And I need you to make a survival roll.
Are we in a wilderness setting?
Nope.
Okay, survival. Before I do that, I'm going to cast my new spell, Enhanced Whiz, which gives me a +2, so that's a 17. 30.
Nice.
When the egg starts to hatch, you realize that since it does not actually have a beak or most of the other bird features, is probably going to need help, and you're going to need to help it break the shell to get out.
I do so.
Go ahead and roll a heal check.
Heal check. I assume my Enhanced Whiz is still up? So that would be a 22.
If I'm there, I'll do perform to give him a +2.
So
Since this would be an
24.
important moment.
This is an important party activity. I don't know what everybody else is doing. $29.
Alright, you are able to assist the little house, which is roughly the size of a refrigerator at this point, in hatching. And go ahead and roll Wild Empathy on it if you want to.
Okay. This is my first time using Greater Wild Empathy, which is a 20. Is that a Wisdom skill?
It should be basically your Druid level plus your Wisdom plus your Greater Wild Empathy plus the bonus that you get from you've got an item that adds to that now.
Ring of Animal Control.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 20, and if I do Enhanced Wisdom and I have Herald's bonus, then it would be a plus 24.
I don't think it's a skill check, so I don't think my.
Okay, plus 22.
Bless you.
Thank you.
It kind of is because it's an authority check.
DM's call.
No, it's a unique ability. It doesn't use your actual authority skill check. It uses its own check.
Okay, 22 then.
It works like an authority check.
29.
And you feed the hut. Although you're not exactly sure how it eats, you just kind of give it some grain and it sort of squats over it and the grain vanishes. And it seems to want to follow you around now.
Yay! Maybe. It's the size of a fridge, huh?
Yep.
Do I have... I can change into any number of bird-type creatures. Do I have any way to communicate with this thing? It's not an actual bird.
I'm going to say that it can understand you when you're transformed into a bird.
Okay.
It's not very bright, though.
Very good. Then I'll slowly get it used to me, my two favorite bird forms, which are eagle and owl, and eating all the stuff and feeding it all the stuff that I eat when I'm an eagle and an owl. Fortunately, we're right next to a river, so that should be fine. What does everybody think we want to do with this thing long term?
It depends on how embedded it is to you. I mean, we may not have a choice but to carry this around with us forever.
I can only offer that, if we don't and we can pass it off, we can definitely take it to my family and they can take good care of it.
Okay.
He is singularly trying to make his family the king of the world.
Yeah.
Wait till you see my family.
In a junkyard sort of way.
I wouldn't call what they've got a junkyard. You'll probably offend them.
Okay, so we'll let it follow us. I'll let it follow me around for now and do my level best to take care of it.
Basically, if you talk to it as a bird, you kind of get the sensation that it is designed to follow a certain number of commands, and things like stay here or follow or go there are pretty
Very basic things.
Yeah, basic. It'll obey those sorts of commands. You get the feeling that it doesn't really need a lot of food. So it doesn't seem to need a lot of food and water. It's pretty self-sufficient, and it does seem happiest if you put some of your gear in it and let it carry it around.
I recommend one of the commands you need to teach it early on. each at the command poop here?
It does not appear to eliminate.
Huh. I am looking forward to this thing getting full size and teaching it the command roll over. I think that'll be hilarious. Okay. So we have essentially a dedicated purpose-built pack animal for all our stuff. I am going to go ahead and put that on my character sheet under magic items. Chicken-legged hut. How much can it carry?
Right now it can carry about 100 pounds.
And it seems to want to.
Yes.
Okay. We will let it.
All right, so you get your scribing and donning of items and so forth finished. Negotiations are complete. Cadmir and Dinalessa and Abranca all go back to their respective locations. Thom gets back to collecting tolls. What do you guys want to do next?
All right, and at least I am a member of the guild at this point now, correct?
Yes.
Where?
What?
A completely separate negotiation just for Elendil?
Yep.
Okay, so what do the rest of us need to do to get into the guild?
Dinalessa basically leaves you guys with instructions to report to Elfhome at your earliest convenience, and she'll introduce you around and find some work for you pretty much, and you can start taking up duties then. But there's no, she says that at the moment there's no, pressing need for you to go instantly.
Okay. I am going to, as opportunity allows, over meals and such over the next week, with Dinalessa, with the Dwarven faction representative, with Cadmir, if he's interested, even with Tom, I'm just going to elaborate on the condition and plight of the halflings, just so everybody at the garrison knows, and solicit suggestions as to how to get them out of Neanderthal halfling state and back into normal halfling state, assuming that's something that can happen. Do I get any great feedback?
You broke the GM.
I don't know that they're safe to be around. They're prone to attacking en masse and attempting to drown themselves en masse. Yeah, Harold, feel free to get involved. We have been wonderfully forthright and nothing but a pain in the ass for Thom. Cadmir is just knee-jerk disagreeable. there's no reason not to tell, especially if we're gathering over meals for a week, there's no reason not to tell everybody everything about our adventures in the shrine, correct? Including the dragon and its portal. They may have some good feedback.
Harold was already pretty much telling the dwarven representative about them because she had offered to give you guys some money if you'd run up a report for the dwarven record keepers.
Okay.
Which was 20 gold. I don't know if anyone wrote that down anywhere.
No, that should be in party loot.
It might be written down someplace. It's just written down someplace that Elendal doesn't know about.
Okay, so I was doing some quick calculations, and to complete the stuff that I need to complete, including memorizing all of these spells that I have now received, etc., I'm going to need about 3 weeks of basically uninterrupted time.
3 weeks?
Yep.
Not
I have
a fat wizard.
I have 16 spells to memorize. That's 16 days right there. And then I got to figure out the cost and the time to make my staff. So I'm figuring that's probably going to be pretty close to a week. That's 3 weeks. So I guess the first question I have is the party and everybody else good with putting us up for 3 weeks?
Well, somebody's going to have to go back and feed and water your halflings.
We've got money. We can take care of 3 weeks worth of, even if they want to charge us.
Yeah, if you're gonna take 3 whole weeks, you around day 12ish, a boat shows up at the coming down river and stops here at the fort and announces that Janberg has been overrun and they desperately need help from any guild members to go there and help put an end to the situation.
We don't even ask by what. We simply charge off in that direction.
Well, are you just gonna abandon your halflings and stuff here?
No. I assume this is exactly what Tom is there for, correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
I do have a question about my bandolier of bombs.
Yes.
Because it says that it creates 4 bombs a day. So if I don't use them, am I just getting a shitload of bombs?
No, if you don't use them, it doesn't keep creating
Okay,
more
so it just
bombs.
replaces. Okay.
Yes. Yeah,
And my ring of resistance, is that all resistances get +3?
Yeah. I have a cloak, and that's the way that works.
Okay.
Or reflex and will plus $3.
Shoot.
Isn't Janberg like a week upriver?
Yes.
Got a whole other domain I need to add. I didn't track on that.
What, we don't know what attacked?
Overrun by what?
They do not know. They basically were listed. They're at like second or third remove. That they were basically sent for help, so they're not sure exactly what's going on or what happened.
Humanoids?
It doesn't sound like it. I'll give you that much.
Okay, so and you said on about the 12th day?
Yeah.
So I can go under the assumption that I've memorized 12 of the 18 or 16 spells? Because I do have them in order. Okay. So I will add them to my spell books and make some adjustments. But yeah, the first question is, what are we looking at? Week's travel time. That is... That is by going up the river, etc., correct?
Yeah, if you want to go up the river, it's going to take you about a week to get there.
Let's deal with the halflings first, since it now looks like it's going to be easy. Essentially, we transport them to the keep, and we let the guild worry about unworm touching them. Is that correct?
Yeah, Thom set up that he basically has them clear out a room that can be locked in one of the towers. And they kind of wall off part of the courtyard so the halflings can at least get out and get some sunshine and fresh air and exercise.
And is Denalessa willing to help teleport the halflings back?
No, Denalessa leaves immediately after the negotiations are done.
Okay. So
with the halflings taken care of, we have no more time-sensitive...
I'm just trying to think of how many I can teleport at a time. In a day,
they can walk.
We still need to get them out of that room.
Yeah, they can walk once they're out of that room.
Yeah, which we need to teleport them out of. So if we're teleporting them out of there, that's all I'm trying to figure out.
So I guess the question is, on day 12, we know of something going on in Janberg, but Tom's group's going up to deal with it, so we're going to go deal with the halflings. Right?
Well, the timing's interesting. Have we already dealt with the halflings by then? Because that's 12 days in.
Yeah, I would assume at this point you would have had at least go back and get them food, so it'd be more efficient just to bring them back with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would take me, looking at this, trying to figure it out. Basically, I could teleport half of them out, and then the next day teleport the second half out.
Why don't you just spend your 12 days memorizing spells, and the rest of us can take care of the halflings?
How are you going to teleport into the room?
Once they're
teleported, how are you going to teleport out?
We use the magic circle.
That only goes into the room. It does not lead out.
Right. Yep. Remember, I had to dig my way out of that room.
Granted, you could
As a
just
badger?
widen the hole and, construct a bridge.
Yep. Worst comes to worst, I can cast Heavy Haul and fly and just go in and pick them up and carry them out.
Okay. Jenny, do you want us to worry about the logistics of how we get the halflings out of the room?
No.
Okay. Then let's
Okay.
just say the halflings are
There's
at the
nothing.
garrison.
There's really nothing in there to attack you, so I'm figuring you guys are smart enough to rig up some ropes or that sort of thing and figure it out.
So the halflings are now at the garrison, and probably by day 12, they probably have been for a week with guild healers visiting and looking at them. So by the time this message comes from Janberg, I think we're either sitting around doing nothing, or we're talking about going through the dragon portal.
Right.
And raising a chicken-legged hut. So question for the group. Do you want to accompany Thom to go see what's going on in Jamberg?
I personally am thinking yes, because this could have something directly to do with our dragon. It's been overrun. They don't know by what. Oh, maybe it's our dragon.
It could. I also feel like we owe Thom
Yeah.
something other than headaches. Elendal, Golwyn, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm good with that. I'm all good for finding and killing shit.
Harold?
It's 50-50. I mean, I don't know what leaving the portal open means, so.
Yeah, I don't know either. Jenny, is there any... so it's 12 days. If we dealt with the halflings in the first, say, 3 or 4, that's a week of either just sitting around doing spells. Well, I guess that is what Lucha needs to do. And we're not going to go herring off without him. So the rest of us will be raising chicken-legged huts and doing whatever gear maintenance our gear requires, I guess. So when that message from Jamberg comes in, the halflings are taken care of. The portal is still sitting there at the at the basement of the shrine, and I assume it'll still be sitting there. We don't have any way of monitoring it. But yeah, I'm inclined to go help Thom in Janberg. The only other urgent mission we have is getting Golwyn laid.
It's not that urgent, apparently.
No, I think that can wait.
No, elves live for a long time. I'll probably be young for a while.
Just get him a subscription to Bazzers. He's fine. Oh no, what is it? Brazzers, that's it.
There's
Yeah,
for
pretend you don't know,
Yeah.
Nevada boy.
I haven't looked. I swear to God. But I'll bet Brazzers for elves is actually a thing already.
Okay.
It sounds like we're of a mind to accompany Thom to Jamberg.
Okay. How are you accompanying him?
Well, how is he getting there?
He's taking his boats and rowing, basically.
We have a boat. So we'll...
Oh, we have another logistical problem with our boat.
What's that?
We need to bring the refrigerator.
I think the chicken-legged hut can just stay here.
It
I'll
can.
have a short conversation with it and make sure it understands that Dad needs to go to work. But I think it can just stay here.
You can leave it here, or it can basically take Listen's spot in the boat, and Listen's can fly or do whatever works for him.
Yeah, since Listens is going to do that anyway. So why don't we just put it in the back of the boat?
If we can do that.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I spend all my time up above patrolling as an eagle anyway.
Plus, couldn't I use my horseshoes of Zephyr to ride like alongside the boat?
Yep, you can do that.
So we have room.
You can. Please elaborate.
The horseshoes.
What?
If I put the horseshoes on my horse, it can ride as long as it can run. Technically, I'm riding or walk above, about 4 inches above any vaguely horizontal surface.
So you
So
can
it
just go
can-
galloping upriver on your horse.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's
That's my boy.
that's quite the mental image. So
That's my child. See,
behind most of the garrison, we have a large canoe with a baby chicken-legged hut in the back, and a horse with a paladin galloping along across the water, while high above an eagle soars, scouting the whole mess.
You know, I feel at home. I honestly feel at home. All we need is a bunch of family members, and this would be home.
It's because your home is a circus.
Well, they don't know that yet.
That's pretty cool.
Uh,
Okay, so we'll just tag along with Tom, but we'll be in the canoe with Golan on a horse. And me flying above. Standard 100 foot above patrol pattern. It's going to take forever. Well, how long will it take for this whole yacht club to arrive in Johnburg?
Let's see from the map. 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll take about 4 days for you guys to get together.
So why are we taking boats instead of portaling? Because we can't?
Yeah, you can't just teleport directly there.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys go upstream for about 2 days, and you start to notice that the you have exited kind of the uncivilized areas and are starting to see farms and so forth on the shore, but they are remarkably empty. You don't see any animals, you see no people working the fields, nothing. You're still technically in the wormwood, so there are a lot of trees blocking your view at times, but you can definitely see where people have carved out farms, and you're not seeing squat. There's just nothing. In fact, it's remarkably quiet. You don't see any like deer in the forests or anything like that. And I'm gonna need everybody to make a perception check.
I am an eagle, correct? At this point, when we see all
yes.
this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will probably need
But I
to...
don't have enhanced viz up, so 23.
I need to co-opt this and find a token for this critter that I was working on, because they bypassed part of this that I had planned for. Love it when people do that.
35. Oh, that should be a 37, if it matters. Lightning reaction.
$24.
Let's see. All right.
So I am seeing that even the crops in the fields have been eaten down to the ground by something, and there is a faint patina of wetness clinging that looks like ooze or slime. I will swoop low over the boat, and with wild speech, I will let everybody know what's going on and suggest that we halt the convoy while we investigate what exactly has happened in these fields. I will transform to. Does everybody take that suggestion?
Sure.
Like, I'm including Thom and the whole garrison, rather than just wander into who knows what in Johnburg. So if they're all if they're all willing to pull the boats over, I'll change into a panther and investigate the fields with smell and see if I can tell what happened.
All right, give me a second. I'm like prepping to reuse a map here.
And who did it.
That was a mistake there.
Okay. So you're gonna basically fly down, and is anybody else gonna disembark?
Well, the first question is everybody in agreement to pull the boats over?
I have swooped over and let everybody know that there is something especially weird going on over in these fields that should be investigated.
Yeah, I'd rather get out, not be caught in a boat in a river.
Yeah, being mobile's good.
We do need to pull the boats off the river at some point, and I think we'd rather approach Janburg over land. We're now in the outskirts of Janburg, correct?
You're in like the fields and villages that grow crops for Jamberg.
So probably a mile from downtown, 10 miles, 100 miles?
Probably still about 20 miles away.
Oh, okay. Well, still.
Can
Good time for a
can we
break.
can we see Janberg?
No, not yet. You're in the wormwood, which means that there are giant trees everywhere. So
The garrison needs a potty break anyway. So yeah, I'd like all the bolts pulled over so that I'm not investigating this potential strangeness all on my lonesome. But I'd like to have at least the party, if not the garrison, behind me.
Thom does not wish to stop, so he says that he will keep going, and you guys can stop and figure out what's going on and report to him.
And we'll catch up. Okay, which should be pretty easy. Okay, so just the party then. And our large canoe. And the water walking horse. And the chicken-legged hut.
Yes.
Okay, you guys pull the boat off.
It's quite a menagerie, this party.
There's a farm not too far off of the river. You find basically, I don't have a map for this, so we're gonna be imagining things. But
Okay.
basically, there's a farm off to the side.
I'm looking for things that are out of, obviously there's things out of the ordinary, but anything small that I might notice that you wouldn't notice if you weren't looking.
Well, where are you looking? Are you gonna go like up?
Around the door because I'm going to want to go in the building and see if there's anything in there.
What does it smell like?
Do I recognize between farming and my mystical knowledge? Do I recognize what this gooey, honey, sticky stuff is?
You can roll. I'm gonna call it an Arcana check.
Actually, that should be 27. I still haven't totally finished updating my character sheet.
What does it smell like, Lassie? Is Timmy in trouble?
Smells like the entire village fell down a well.
Elendal, if you approach the farmhouse and look in, you notice it's completely dark and still inside. And there are lots of like smashed containers. Like the place was really thoroughly looted, and all the furniture's gone.
So the shards of pottery and stuff are there, but no furniture?
Yeah, and also the weird thing is that you don't see any signs that the inhabitants packed up and left.
Is this like a house? So there's several rooms, more of a
Yeah,
hut.
it's a farmhouse, so there's like a big kitchen and then some bedrooms, and they've got like some stalls for animals and stuff off the side. There's, if you go look at like the pig pen and the little horse corral and that sort of thing, there's no, even like the hay that the animals would eat or use for bedding is gone. There aren't droppings. Everything's completely been just vanished. You are not seeing any tracks or signs of things moving around.
What about, I mean, just like the goo? Is there a path of the goo?
It is it is basically too thoroughly distributed for you to call it a path.
But even, like laying down sheets, it may be a mile wide, but things outside of that area remain the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to eagle form and go up to 2, 3, 4, 500 feet. Can I see a swath of this stuff going from somewhere to somewhere else? Take it up to 1,000 if necessary.
You go up high, and it honestly looks to you almost as if someone was like carrying a bag of goo and just dropped it dead center on the farm.
On this farm?
Yep.
Okay, I'll come back down and tell everybody. That's bizarre.
Well, that's what I'm curious of. We saw baby dragon breath weapon. What would mama dragon breath weapon look like?
Listens, roll me a wisdom check.
Oh,
Especially if mama dragon was flying above.
I like wisdom checks. Wisdom is going to be... Oh, just my straight up wisdom. Do I have a chance to, no, never mind. So +5. The whole enhanced wisdom thing is great if you know you're going to need it. Unfortunately, you don't.
Well, that's a nice roll.
It is a nice roll. I may wish I'd used it on something else.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Down by the river, I'm hearing a noise, kind of a clank.
Did everybody see that? The devastation is almost perfectly centered around the well in the middle of the farm? Okay.
But like a semi-regular clanking noise. I'm going to assume it'd be almost like, intermittent marching by somebody in a suit of armor.
It sounds like it's coming from further away than that. Whatever it is that's moving around is big.
I'll do that
Now,
as an
fortunately,
eagle
we
from
have somebody
500
named
feet up.
Listens, so maybe they can listen.
Yeah, I'm going to attempt to do that as an eagle from 500 feet up.
Okay, so you're gonna fly up and try to locate the sound of the clanking noise. Make a perception check. Because it's all trees here.
Okay, so in this case, I know it's coming, so I'm going to cast Enhanced Wisdom. And that's going to be 15 plus 2 plus 8, 25.
Alright, you fly around to the south a bit, the fields peter out, and you see that the fence here has been knocked down and horribly ripped up. It looks like something broke through it from the inside of the fence. And in the trees to the south, you hear the clanking noise now, and you see a whole tree move like something enormous, like a bear pushed it. So under this tree cover, there's something pretty big and annoyed.
That can knock down trees.
Well, it didn't knock down the tree. It like shoved it a little bit, and it shook the whole tree, basically.
It's moving in a path.
No, it looked like it just kind of brushed up against the tree.
I'll go perch in a nearby tree and see if I can get a closer view.
Okay. Well, down on the ground, you see what looks like a gigantic, well, honestly, it looks like there's a giant siege weapon down there that's wandering around on its own. It's like going back and forth like an agitated dog, and it looks slightly damaged. Like there's blackened spots all over it.
Like a trebuchet or a catapult?
It's hard to say. It's basically a big wooden frame with wheels on it and what looks to be a bunch of blades sticking out.
Alrighty. I fly back to the party and report exactly what I saw.
Okay. Well, it's good to know that it's made out of wood. That means it can burn.
Yeah. Siege weapons moving about on their own are somewhat unusual.
Were you able to see
Yes,
anything
it would be.
inside it?
I did not see anything inside it or outside it that would be moving it other than itself, correct?
Right, there are no people on it, there were no animals hitched to it, it was just moving about on its own reconnaissance.
Hey, I apologize for my dogs. I'm not sure what they're freaking out, but they're freaking out all over the party. So I'm gonna go see what's going on, or all over the property.
Okay.
Mute.
What do you where do you want to go from here, guys? We have a well that looks like it's vomited destructive goo, and a siege weapon wandering around on its own off to the
Well, nobody
south.
actually went and looked at the well. You just kind of realized that the well was dead center of whatever happened here.
Ah, okay. I'll investigate the well as a panther, sniffing carefully and looking down with my low light vision.
Well, as you approach the well, you realize that the cover is off, and you look in and don't have to look down very far, and there is just. It appears to be full up with a greenish slime.
Which I assume smells even
Yes.
more strongly than everything else. Okay.
Yes, it positively stinks.
And the greenish slime is just sitting there, or
It's just
looks like
sitting
it's about
there.
to do something. Okay.
Nope, it's just sitting there. It's like 3 to 4 feet below the lip of the well.
Okay. Poop on it.
I'm sorry.
I mean, first of all, bird poop is acidic, and second of all, let's see if you get some kind of reaction.
Okay. I was gonna toss a pine cone, but sure.
Poop
You're
on the
bird.
Arm of
cone.
a giant
all.
seagull.
And at least he clarified for you to poop on it, because there for a minute I thought Lucha was going to poop on it.
I didn't even know whether he was in game or not. I'll toss a pine cone down the well. Anything happen to the pine cone?
There is a loud hissing noise, and the pine cone rapidly dissolves into the goo.
Okay. I'm gonna guess that's gonna happen to anything that contacts this goo.
Acid meets acid. I'm just saying.
So what we would need is a big base, but my character doesn't know chemistry.
I don't have any instruments with me.
More importantly, the goo didn't just come from nowhere. Something or someone caused this goo to come erupting out of this well. I've got true seeing up. Do I see anything with true seeing?
No, you're not seeing anything that you weren't seeing before.
So no magic or aura in any that I can perceive. I'll look all around. No magic.
No, nothing on the farm is magical.
That's become one of the things that I do at the start of my day, since I can have true seeing last for 7 hours. When I looked at the siege weapon, did I see anything with true seeing?
Yes, it is magically animated.
Can't really tell by who, I assume.
No.
But some sort of enchantment.
Yeah.
Ongoing.
Yes.
Huh. I'll let everybody know. There's nothing magical in the well, around the well, or about this goo, but the wandering siege engine off to the south was enchanted. Probably to do what it's doing for who knows what reason. So, given the amount of goo that came out of that well, I assume it went into the river that we just came out of.
No, actually, the devastation ends a bit before the river.
Okay. So it didn't actually flow into the river.
Nope.
Anybody have any brilliant ideas?
No, I do not.
I had myself
Not
muted
regarding
again.
that.
Even rivers have kind of a high tide or a high flow mark. Is that the point where the goose stops?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't really get close to the river. It looks like it basically is around the well, is the center.
But where the river would meander around, I guess what I'm trying to determine is whether it's trying to avoid the water.
No, it's just a rough circle around the well.
Okay.
So it just didn't get that far.
One thing I could think of is, I mean, you got a magically animated siege weapon and an explosion of goo. Unless they were, you know, I don't know if maybe the farm hid a wizard's laboratory under it, so maybe we could search the house for secret doors.
If roll to search, roll perception to search if you want to search the house.
Right.
No, everything in this house has been pretty thoroughly destroyed. There's just, basically shards of glass and pottery around. Everything else is just gone, pretty much.
I'm gonna. How far away is the siege engine from where we are now?
It's about 200 yards south of you guys.
So we can tromp on over and pay it a visit. Does anybody speak siege engine?
I'd like to see if we can get close enough to see if it has any markings. Like, does it belong to anyone?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too.
Or does it talk? Yeah. Unless this is just completely random side effect. People don't animate siege engines for no reason. Okay, trundle off in the direction of the siege engine, I guess.
Okay, you guys head south along the river a little ways, and where's my little player's decal? There you are. You get to this little area with some bushes and a little water, and there's the siege engine down there toward the south of you. Can everybody see the map?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Does it have like a flag or anything on it?
No, it doesn't look exactly like that. I just used whatever icon I could find that looked approximately correct. It's roll an int check, or just I think someone in the party has profession farmer.
I do.
Roll it.
That's a trebuchet.
Yeah, just got to figure out what that would be, because that is my profession. Okay. Well,
You're starting to think it's not really a siege engine. It looks like a combine harvester.
and yeah, that, like I said, I still haven't updated my sheet. That should be 14.
Now that you're getting a closer look at it, the blades are pointed largely at the ground. You think it's possibly some sort of farming equipment.
Does it seem to have a goal? Like, is it moving toward,
No,
like, purposely in one direction?
it's kind of running a little circle under the trees, just clank, 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 pause, clank, 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 pause, clank, 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 pause, in this little circle.
Is it hitting something and pausing, or just going, stopping, and
It's just going and stopping. When you get up to about there, it suddenly stops and looks at you guys and begins to charge in your direction at extremely high speed, and I need y'all to roll initiative.
Good Lord. I'll give up lightning reaction for +4.
I don't believe I've had an over 10 initiative roll yet.
Fortunately, it hasn't been critical.
Should be quicker then.
Alright, listen, this thing, whatever it is charging. What are you gonna do?
I think I'm in panther form. Charging, and it's likely to hit Golwyn and Elendil first. So I will. Sorry, what's the range on false life? Look it up. False life. If it's close, what would that be? 30 feet?
Close is 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels.
Okay. Close. So 5 feet per 2 levels means it's an extra
20.
20. So 45 feet. And I have suddenly realized I have the fleet feet as part of Numaya's chalice. So I'm going to move. 1,
Fleet?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because from the domain. Which one did you pick?
Yeah, I've now got a whole new domain that I just neglected that is part of Numaya's chalice. So move, and with my remaining 2 actions, I'm going to cast False Life on Golwyn for 70 points.
Alright.
Down 10 from all of the shifting and enhanced wisdom. And I'm done.
All right, Crash, you're up.
I will move up to Golan and cast speed on both of us. Let me make sure this.
Everybody needs to update their numbers, by the way. These are all old values.
My numbers are up to date.
Oh, good.
So for the next, well, since I don't know how many rounds this will take, I'll do for the next 5 minutes. Your base speed is increased by 20 feet, and you may make one additional attack at your highest base attack every round.
Sweet.
Should I have a like an icon for my? Because I never like got off of my horse.
You should have a cape at this point.
So should I have an icon for that?
Yeah, hang on.
Can we attach a fan to his horse's head so his hair is always, blowing, and the cape
is always billowing. Grow out some long flowing locks.
Yeah. That's how I always see it anyway, buddy.
Thanks, Dan.
That's actually pretty accurate. The horse has officially put his butt on your face. I can attest to the puppies. That's kind of what they do.
Alrighty, you have control of the horse now, so updating it is completely on you.
Oh, Lucha, roll for Daz.
Oh, yeah.
No, I rolled Daz. I'll handle Daz in combat.
Okay.
He's down there after Elendal. He didn't roll very well. So, Crash, what are you gonna do?
I cast speed on me and Golan.
Okay. Lucha, what are you gonna do?
Well, I'm looking at an option, and unfortunately, I can't figure out the modifiers for this. What I'd like to do, as dimensional opening is close, which I'm going to assume is
25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels.
So that's 25 plus 35, 60 feet away.
5 feet per 2 levels.
Oh, so
it's 45 feet.
15. Yeah. And then, but even still, it doesn't say really, it just says that it opens up a hole under its feet. I mean, knowing the spell, is this something that I could do with something this size?
You'd have to increase the area of it, otherwise it won't fall in.
And I guess that's because there's nothing that in all the modifiers, and that's what I was looking at was.
So shapeable is plus 2 spell points.
but that just changes the shape. It doesn't change the size.
Yeah, you want burst to get a larger area template.
Okay, so okay, so knowing that and how far away I am, basically what I'm trying to do is just create a whole hole under it. But it looks like I'm going to have to wait until it gets a little bit closer because I'm not willing to get right up beside it.
Well, so these little ponds here, is that what these are? Little ponds? Are they just, you know? Okay, so do they look like they might be a couple feet deep?
No, they're quite shallow.
I still, Lucha, I would guess, because if it came straight through the water, even though it's shallow, it's probably going to be softer soil, and that may, uh, you know, muck it up. May not be able to move.
I'm not sure what you're saying.
Do you see where I'm putting my little circle?
Yeah.
If you go over there, it's, you know, you it has to go through the water to get to you.
But that wouldn't help for what I'm trying to do.
I understand
Although
that, but I'm just saying it protects you more.
I can go up to 40 feet. So if I move to there, I could do it. So I will move to here and create a dimensional opening below him. So I'm not sure how big around this is.
It's gonna have to be at least 10-foot radius to have an effect on this thing.
Yeah, and it doesn't say what the base is. So I'm going to assume the base is 5 foot, being man size.
Yeah,
A
basically
5 foot radius. Okay, so I'm going to say 15 foot. So that's 3 points. And then what would it? And then would I go burst for extra depth also?
No, the depth is set by the spell.
Okay, so it's going to drop down 35 feet. And realistically, there's no other modifiers that I could make.
What's your DC?
DC is. I got to find out my character sheet. Just a second. Why can I not find it? DC is 23, 22.
How are you calculating that? Let me look at this.
Well, currently, and I haven't had a chance to update my character sheet, but it's 20. Plus, I got two more levels, so that's going to add another 1. And then I've added 2 more into that, which should bring it up 1 more modifier.
The 20 is including your levels.
Oh, okay. So it'll be 21. Because my int modifier should be 7 now. Oh no, plus half the level. Yeah, 21.
Okay.
And then wasn't there something that brought my DC up?
All right. The Plow falls into the pit and takes some damage. So it'd be what? It's. Let me look up falling damage here real quick. I don't remember how they do it.
So Jenny, just because, like I said, I haven't had a chance to update my character sheet. With the Crown of Wit, when it says +5 int skill, my current int skill is 6. That means it's 11, right?
What?
The Crown of Wit, it gives me +4 int, and then it says +5 int skills.
Right.
So it's +5 to all his intelligence skills, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
does that include the intelligent modifier, which is
No.
currently 6? Okay,
It
No,
only
that's what
affects your the things that are listed under the block that says skills.
skills. Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out.
It does not affect.
But I think
every
you calculated
D20 roll
21
make.
correctly. I've got DC 19 off the same formula. 10 plus half your level plus the modifying stat.
He gets a bonus from being an elf.
Oh. Well, of course he does.
So selfish, so and so.
All right, so roll 3d6.
We need to do something in this country about institutional elfism.
It's not too bad considering max is 12.
All right, it falls in the pit and takes a little damage. Going, you're up.
Okay. How deep is the pit that it fell in?
35 feet.
So is it? And how big is it? Like, is it basically just stuck down there now?
It's about 10 feet tall. The spell's gonna end in a round and it's gonna spit it out.
It
Okay.
Hold up. How long does that spell last?
1 round.
Shoot. I was much more impressed when I thought that was permanent.
No.
Yeah, see, I was thinking it was one round per level.
Nope, it's 1 round unless you want to spend points to upgrade it.
Still better than nothing.
Well, and I guess that's because I didn't see anything in the attack modifiers that would allow me to increase the rounds, and that's what I was looking for.
Scroll down to effect modifiers where it says duration.
Yeah. That's how that's how I'm getting True for 7 hours and Harold is getting resist acid for 5 hours.
I was
But
looking
bear in mind you can
lower
only
than that.
spend 7 spell points.
Well, I only spent 4.
But you
So
could have
you
gotten
can
it
add.
up to it could have lasted a minute. You could have bumped it up a category.
Well, it will go up 2 rounds per level, basically. If
Yeah.
you bump it
2
up
rounds
one
per
category.
level. Okay.
So I guess I'll command my horse and move.
Well, as long as I get initiative before him next time, I'm going to put him in another hole. He looks good in a hole.
25.
I think that was a great idea.
So we'll move up here just in case. And
Just to note, it's not
Yeah,
a hole. It's an extra dimensional space, and there are really, really horrendously bad consequences if you try to put an extra dimensional space inside another extra dimensional space.
So what does it actually look like? A hole?
It looks like if you put a portable hole on the ground, basically.
Huh, okay. right out of.
So in other words, we can't fill it with water.
No.
Well, you could for a round.
Yeah, and then it would just spit everything out when it finished.
So can I can still see it though, right?
You can see it down in the hole, basically.
It's 25 feet below you is the top of
Can
it.
I
So.
can I try to dispel the magic animating it?
No, you cannot, because it is not a temporary spell. It's an actual like magically animated item. It's permanent.
Okay, well,
so.
if the top of it is 25 feet down, then it's too far away for me to hit it. So I'm just gonna hang out here. In
Well,
case
you
it...
could ready to attack it when it comes out, basically.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
And I'll assign a smite to it as well.
All right.
Educate me. What does that do?
Smite? Or writing the...
Assigning a smite to it. What does that
Yeah.
mean?
Well, it just means that I smited. I targeted it for my smite.
Okay.
Elendal, you're up.
So it was coming towards us, right?
Yep.
Each one of these blocks is 5 feet.
Yep. To pick the most stupidly overly complicated thing to do with a.
And then I want to drop I want to drop a fire bomb down the hole.
Okay. What's the reflex DC on those again?
I want to say 15, but let me check.
I think you're right.
Pretty sure we want to kill it at this point, huh?
Well,
I'm not sure what other options it's giving us.
yeah, 15 does half.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage.
Oops. Twenty fire damage.
Okay.
Can anybody see its hit points?
Oh, is it doing that stupid thing again? So annoying that it gives everyone permission to edit it but not look at it.
There we go. So that barely nicked it, is what I'm saying now.
Yep.
Okay.
It may be time to leave.
No, I have one more little trick up my sleeve.
Yeah, can you just put it into the river or a pond?
I have a much better idea.
You can't use teleport on unwilling targets. It's not an offensive spell.
Oh, okay. Well, then that left that. I was going to say, you know that cloud that's like a mile above us? That looks like a good place for a combine.
That would be a horrifically overpowered spell.
Jenny just took all my fun. I'm going to place it, 3/4 of a mile right above the well.
Alright, Dez doesn't really have much that he can do, so he's just going to move over here where he can see it, but is hopefully a little bit on the line of fire. And wait.
Listens is going to move here.
It's the
And-
plow's turn.
Oh, sorry.
It does not succeed at climbing out of the hole. Alright, Listens, you're up.
Okay, wait a second. It could have?
Yeah.
How?
There's a climb check to get out of the hole.
There's a climb check to get. Okay, so
It's
this thing
in
can
the
climb.
spell description.
Okay, listens, moves there, and using. Gotta find the spell.
Oh,
Cast.
that's right. The spell, it spits it out on the ground again here. Alright, so now it's back up on the ground and Golan, you can use your ready to action if you want.
Do I go before that or not? Sounds
No, basically the plow attempts to climb out and then the spell ends and spits it out and Golan can go.
I will, as a free action, I will yell, Golan, I am about to enhance your strength. So you might want to delay until I do that.
No, it's a ready to action. If he doesn't use it now, he loses it.
Okay, never mind then.
I'm gonna.
That will hit.
It does.
You only get one attack.
Let's. Okay. This is relevant. Was it possible for me to take the gem that I had in my weighted chain and put it in my
Yes.
bladed chain, or is it?
Yes.
Okay. Because I would have done that then.
Okay.
I don't get to it.
Alright, Listens. Now it's Listens' turn.
Okay, listens. All yakety yakking is a free action, correct?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Crash what he's about to do next.
Sing.
You're about to sing. Okay. Then I will cast. Elendil, what are you about to do?
Keep in mind, it's like 6 seconds, so I mean, you can't carry on conversations.
No, it's a little bit broken.
Well, and they can't talk unless it's their turn, so.
Okay, I'll go ahead and cast Enhanced Strength on. After I move, I cast Enhanced Strength on Golan. So, Golan, you have a +6 strength for 7 rounds.
Alright, Crash, you're up.
I will move and activate my Inspire Courage. Let's see, my movement would be 45. So everyone will get +3 to hit, +3 to damage, and a D6 thunder.
Sweet. Yeah, we're quickly turning Golan into Superman.
Alright, Lucha, what do you want to do?
So the angry plow goes last in all this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I can hold off on everything I'm doing until right before the plow goes, correct? I.e., that gives Elendil a chance to do his damage, Golan to do his, and looks like Daz to do his, correct?
If you want to delay to go after Elendil, or after Daz, you can.
Okay, so I want to delay until after Daz, but before the plow.
All right, Golan, what you want to do?
Okay, so I'll spend one action to command my horse, and then I will attack.
You don't have to command your horse unless you want it to do something specific. I mean, if it's just going to
Well,
be sitting there, that's fine.
I want it to attack.
Okay.
So 3.
That'll hit.
This goes.
I'm so glad we don't have a barky dog.
Oh, no, sorry, no direction. Now. How much damage for the first hit?
That will hit.
Does Frisco bark a lot?
No, Frisco is not particularly barky unless you're not giving him food that he thinks he's entitled to.
And
That's
Yeah,
literally
whatever.
the only time he'll ever bark.
He does whine loudly if you don't pay attention to him.
And remember, I don't have a dog. I have a pack.
No, Frisco's actually not inclined to bark very much. About the only time he like talks to you, like if he thinks you're not paying attention to him, he'll be like,
Yes.
it's hysterical.
20. Oh, does the buff apply to my horse as well?
No. Unless you have like share spells or something.
Well, I mean, Crash's buff.
The haste, no. I don't know about the inspire
The
courage.
inspiring courage will
Inspire
apply.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I have haste, so I have an extra attack
At
at
your
my
highest.
normal.
Yep.
Yep. So I gotta do that. Now the horse will attack, or roll horse damage rather, because I attacked already. So that's 9. And we'll attack again.
You got what?
um,
Where's my calculator?
I have to factor in the thunder damage, which is the horse's last attack.
It'd be helpful if you'd like label these as what they are.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how.
It's
You can just type
string
after
of
you-
numbers scrolling down the page.
After you type in
I'm
the
sorry.
roll, just type, attack or damage.
It is a pain, but yeah, horse damage or
Okay. Organized. Okay, so the first attack is my first attack, the second attack, and then it's my damage, and my second attack, and my damage, the horse's first attack, then my third attack, because I forgot that I was hasted, and then my damage from that attack, then the horse's damage, from its first attack, but without the
So we
thunder
have
damage,
attack,
and then its
damage,
second attack.
attack. Damage.
And then its damage from that attack, and then thunder damage from both of those attacks, and then its last attack. D20 plus 200 to Gibbs slap to the back of Elendal's head.
That's Lucha being cute. So what
Well,
actually hit of
what
that?
I forgot to do was
I don't know if a 19 hits,
There.
but if it doesn't, then everything but the last attack was higher than the first attack that I hit it with. So
go and you can see what I rolled. I did the slash roll D20 plus 200, and then whatever you put after that. So if you put perception, it'll just put perception. But
okay.
that's how you roll those. It took me a little while to figure that out, so I figured this is a better way to visually show you than somebody saying, "Oh, just type this after."
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, with difference between DDO and this is if you just put a dot in front of that, it doesn't put it up there. Unless I did something wrong, but I tried doing just a dot slash and it did the roll.
Everybody knows you can just do an up arrow to repeat your last command, right?
Yes, I did figure that out after a little while too.
That is helpful.
13 slashing damage, 14 thunder damage, 51 damage from the mods. 16.
I think I got it.
Okay. I felt bad.
But
so
that last attack from the horse does miss.
Yeah.
All right.
I kind of expected that to just take it out.
Nope. All right, Elendal, you're up.
All right, so I'm close
Go on,
enough
I
that I
assume
can
you got
attack
your
it,
+6
Yes.
strength bonus and all that.
and it's
Okay.
can I sneak attack this thing? Because I don't know that it has a face. I don't know which way it's actually.
Sadly,
You know.
no. It's a construct. It's immune to sneak attack damage.
Even if I throw a pebble, like 6 feet away, so it goes, "Hey, what's that?"
Yeah,
That's not gonna work. All right. I am still going to hack away at it.
I'm gonna double check because Pathfinder has some weird stuff.
Probably not going to hit.
No, 19 missed. So unless there's something fucky going on.
And then for my
Nope, I was wrong. You can sneak attack it.
oh, really?
Yes.
So ignore those two.
You can sneak attack an angry plow.
You don't necessarily know whether poison would do any damage to it.
Yeah, it's immune.
I'd try it.
Yeah.
I imagine, but that's on the blade.
Well, that the 30 hits.
Alrighty. I don't actually get 5 times the sneak attack damage on the fire, do I?
No.
I did not add. Yeah, I didn't make it that way. So. And Golan, I can show you how to do that so that you can roll that way.
That would probably be better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty helpful.
At when you come over for dinner on Tuesday.
Now, it's quite hard to tell, but are you giving yourself a -2 modifier on subsequent attacks?
You mean from here on attacks?
No, basically, when you make multiple attacks in a round, your first attack is at your full attack bonus or -2 in your case because you're 2-weapon fighting. Your second and third action attacks in the round, you get a subsequent penalty. When you're sneak attacking, since you're a rogue, it's only a -2. Normally, it's a -5.
Yeah. I do have that in there on my sneak attack.
Okay. Okay, so you do some damage to it. Daz's turn.
Does he actually do 140 damage?
No, only the last attack actually hit.
Yeah, but isn't that times
Yeah, the
5?
first. That is times. The 28 is times 5.
How is it times 5?
Ooh, how could that be?
That's what he said. That's what I was wondering.
Oh, it's not times. It's
You get 5d6
Oh,
bonus
I did-
dice. You don't
right.
get a times 5 multiplier.
right. Yes.
So you rolled a 6, 6, 2, 4, 3. In addition to the rest of his damage.
Yeah, the 28 is the total damage.
Dang, awesome. So the 28 includes the 5d6 sneak attack bonus. It includes the thunder bonus from Herald. It includes everything.
Oh, it did not. Am I getting a thunder bonus from Harold?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
just a
you're getting a
D6.
d6 thunder and plus 3 damage.
Okay, so
And now you know why I don't really like rolling attacks and damage and stuff on the character sheet, because you rarely have enough modifiers in.
But wait, I'll make it worse.
there's the there's the thunder damage.
It's a much more humane way of doing sneak attack damage. I remember in second ed, it used to be just like double, triple, quadruple as you gain
Yeah.
level. It got pretty horrific.
Yeah, multiplying in pen and paper games is usually a mistake.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think when I was doing first edition AD&D, I had the sneak attacks do an extra die damage, not necessarily double, triple, quadruple damage.
Carter administration? I'm guessing.
Huh? Oh, when I played AD&D?
AD&D first ed, yeah. I was talking about AD&D second ed, which I played when I was like
Yeah.
14, over 40
first-
years ago.
Yeah, first ed, Trudeau was still prime minister.
Yeah.
Good Lord, I don't know what is going on with my dogs, but there's two of them barking from one end of the house to the other.
Maybe they're barking at each other.
They're
When
playing
my-
volley bark.
when my wife asks that same question about her dogs, I often suggest that he just be stupid. But we have some notoriously stupid dogs.
Yeah, well, like I said, I don't have a dog. I have 6. So I have a full
All right,
friggin'
Lucha,
pack.
you're up.
Okay, so I'm going to move 30 feet. Oops.
6 squares.
And I'm going to put another hole below him.
All right, it successfully makes the reflex save. And it's not fall in the hole this time.
It,
In real time, he could increase that duration so that it would be 7 rounds, right?
He could increase it up to a round per level.
Which would be 7 rounds.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's got a big hole under him that he managed to avoid.
Yep.
Cute.
So movement casting, yeah.
That was a good idea.
Nothing I can do at this point in time. I should have done it the other way around. Cast and then move. Because if I would have thought of it that way, yeah, I could have cast it again with Quicken Spell, and yeah, I could have added one more round.
Well, we've been meaning to get Golwyn plowed, but this is probably the wrong way.
Except I hate to say this, but wasn't Golwyn supposed to be doing the plowing? I mean, if we're getting Golwyn plowed, then we might as well send him to San Francisco.
I was thinking more drunk.
Does a 35 hit you, Golwyn?
Yes. No, I think technically, as long as it can result in Elvish children, the specificities don't really matter. But I kind of doubt the.
All right, you take 23 damage.
That comes off your temp HP.
Yes.
That's nothing. He laughs at that.
That was the first swing.
Does a 33 hit you, Crash?
No.
Nice. $24 hit you, Golwyn?
Me? No.
Good, good. Does a 28 hit you?
No.
Awesome. And the plow is done. Listen, you're up.
Listens is going to False Life Herald and start an enhanced strength on Herald.
Alrighty.
I assume I spend the spell points for that as soon as I start it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to be a total of 13. So, Harold, you've got 70 temp HP, and at the beginning of next round, you'll finally have +6 strength.
Crash, you're up.
Alright. First swing.
Yeah, that hits.
Speed swing.
That'll hit.
Second attack.
Hits.
Third attack.
That'll hit.
Does it have any bludgeon or thunder resistance?
It has adamantine resistance, which I know your baton gets through.
Red line.
You're swinging
Alright.
a baton.
Yep, he has a stick. So yeah, you can roll all the damage together if you want to.
Alrighty. Chickaboom.
Kaboom is right. Wow.
Oh, it's hysterical. And it is reduced to rubble. Eh.
Why didn't you do that on your first swing?
There's a huge thunderous boom, and it explodes into rubble and crashes there, wiping the dust off of his shoulder and looking smug.
My daughter's so sweet. She brought me home coffee crisps.
And basically, it is, yeah, it's a giant piece of farming equipment. It looks like it was, before you guys demolished it, it was rather eaten around the edges by acid, but whatever was not enough to kill it. And it's got a maker's mark on it from Polis.
Polos. Okay. I'm going to now execute an idea I should have thought of a while ago, which is, what is one of the more common birds in the area? A crow? I assume?
Probably. I mean,
okay.
it's a forest. There's a lot of birds.
I'm going to use Ring of Animal Control to try and summon a crow from anywhere within a mile, correct?
Yeah, you can do that.
And I'm going to turn myself into a crow, and I'm going to have a conversation with whoever shows up about what has happened here in the last week.
Okay, you guys wait about 10 minutes and a crow shows up.
Or a bunch of them. Oh, actually, the Ring of Animal Control, I'm just calling one, correct?
Right, yep.
Okay.
And what specifically are you asking it?
Let me start typing this in chat, I guess. I'm hoping for a talkative crow. I think insects are actually considered vermin.
Yeah, insects are vermin under this system.
Sorry, I was chowing down on a treat, so I muted myself.
But I can't turn into one, so I couldn't talk to him, but I could wild empathy him. Do you have an idea regarding an insect? Crow is typing. This is one amazing crow. all the food went away.
So the well did a little volcano.
Using wild speech, I will ask the group, does anyone have any questions for this crow? It was around when all this happened.
Where did all these smelly things go?
Except the one in the field. What do you mean smelly things?
These...
Make an int check.
Me?
Yes, you.
Okay. Int is a straight up unmodified. Probably not.
Okay, you start to ask the crow, what about the one in the field, and you realize it's probably talking about the scarecrow that the farmer had out there.
Okay. The one in the field. So they all perished in the flood of yuck.
But like, where did all these slimes and stuff go? I think you were calling them.
It doesn't sound like it was intelligent. It was just a huge gusher of yuck that came out of the well.
Right, but
Acidic
it's
yuck.
And then maybe
it
went
said there
back
was
in
more. It said there was more than one, but less than 5.
days ago.
Yeah, that was
Days ago, yeah.
Yeah, crows count days.
Okay, but if you read the question, it said, where did the bad smell come from? It didn't say how long ago or anything else. That's why I'm confused.
Well, I said
First-
what happened here, and so it's answering that.
So I guess the question is, where did the bad smell go?
I'm going to say that you know that unusual is a little bit beyond the concept of what the crow could... That's too much judgment call for it.
Would strange be within its grasp?
Not normal, out of the
Weird.
ordinary.
Threatening.
I'd say yes.
Looks like Lucha.
But it won't be able to tell you like were the people acting weird or not, because all human behavior is a mystery to it.
Okay.
It would be more like, was there like a bad smell or anything like that beforehand?
Okay. Can anybody think of any other questions for the crow?
Did the bad... I don't know how you word it. Did the bad smell go back into the well or whatever? I mean, where did this thing go? We don't know. We're making assumptions based on what we saw down the well.
Anyway, so it went back in the well.
Yeah, so I don't really want to be around if it decides to ask it if it, if there was any warning signs that it saw. I mean, maybe it wasn't close enough to.
Oh, looks disgusted. I have a hard stop in about 45 minutes.
Well, Adam needs to stop in about 15, so.
Okay. Okay. Well, that was surprisingly uninformative. Can anybody think of anything else? Probably do have food of some sort.
What's it calling food? Worms?
Well, I've been feeding the chicken-legged hut.
Oh, is there anything left inside the plow?
No.
I don't actually have a spell that can create food.
I've got a pound of biscuit. Here you go.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm about to dismiss the crow unless anybody can think of great questions.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
this one. And she's like, oh, okay, let me go grab it. She's like, do you just want to take the other one home?
So basically, our dragon friend is around here.
Right. That's the hypothesis. I wish we could find better evidence, especially as to the location of said dragon.
Well, what would make sense is like the crow was talking about the frog that was weird. Probably because the frog's been tainted by the worm. Or worm tainted, whatever you want to call it. Which is why I'm saying the
It
dragon's
didn't say
about.
it was weird. It said it tasted
It's
good.
tasty. Yeah, it was
Catching-
a tasty frog.
Catching a tasty frog is unusual to a crow.
Well, I thought he said it burned his beak or something.
No, he pecked at the ooze to see if he could eat it and it
Oh.
burned him.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Missed that. Still, it's
Okay.
almost like something basically transformed the water into acid, caused it to erupt,
And it's still acid.
and it's still acid. Guess what I'm saying? It was transformed into acid, and it is still acid.
And the angry plow remains a double mystery. Both
Well,
why
all
why it was
honesty, if
wandering
the
around and why
plow
it
was
was angry.
magical to begin with, it's, you know, whatever it was could have basically fucked with the enchantment and, you know, caused the plow to think anything like people would be plants that it should harvest.
So now that the plow is dead, I look at it with true seeing. I assume that the magic has left it.
Yeah, it's basically been destroyed.
Okay. Alrighty. Back to the river and report to Thom? Or do you think there's more to do here?
I'm
Well,
still
we have to
curious.
catch up to Tom.
I'm still curious about the well. Are we dealing with like an acidic blob, or is it just that the water that was in it turned acidic?
Good question.
Well, whatever's in there was quite sticky and viscous.
It doesn't seem to have any intelligence or purpose, necessarily. There's no pattern to the destruction, right? It just looks like an eruption.
Kinda.
I'm having visions of like, our science experiments from the 70s and 80s where you put stuff in a beaker and it just kind of explodes up from it.
Baking soda and vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Back to the boat and back to patrol, and we'll report into Thom and tell him all the stuff we did learn, which wasn't a ton.
Well, it's gonna take you guys a good while to catch up with Thom. Because he went on ahead and you spent considerable amount of time investigating and fighting and so forth.
Okay. Well, I'll just catch up to him as an eagle and then report back to everybody else in the canoe.
Alrighty.
He should be aware that there are geysers of acid that have happened and may happen again, and that there are animated large farm implements angrily wandering the countryside.
About the time that you catch up with Thom, you can see Janberg up in the distance, and a large portion of the village looks like it has burned down. There's a lot of smoke and ash. From what you can see from your eagle perspective, the streets are empty, and it looks like the entire population has climbed a bluff to the southwest of the town that overlooks the place and is camped out there. So there's like fires burning, and you can see a lot of people and some tents and so forth.
Okay, I'll loop back, relay all that to Thom, and then come back to the party and let them know all of that.
Hmm.
And you guys will get there about midday the next day.
So some people were able to escape from whatever happened.
Looks like it. And that is probably a good time to end for the night.
Okay. Interesting.
Hmm.
You are good at coming up with mysteries.
It's not hard. I just tell you what happened and don't explain anything.
Ah, that was my approach to parenting.
All right. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. We'll pick up next
Yeah.
week.
Thanks,
I
everybody.
didn't explain much either, but I was always like, yeah, stick that fork in there, see what happens.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right.
Okay,
Good
good night, everyone.